Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Wine. Welcome back to art class. Today we will be creating our final prints for our Cityscape project. So you will need to gather a lot of materials today. The first thing you will need to do is you will need to have two pieces of paper. You need your painted background, and you're also going to need an empty white sheet of paper. I'm going to ask you to start by just folding that empty sheet of paper in half, the short way, like a taco shell or a hamburger bun, like a book, however you want to think of it, and then open it up. That'll just help divide it in half. And then you want to double check and make sure that your name is on the back of the paper. So you'll need a pencil to quickly write your name, and then you can set both of these papers aside. You're going to be working with a partner today, and remember, your partner is going to be the one with the clean hands and you'll be the one with the dirty hands. You will also need your printing plate, and you will need an inking tray along with a brayer. A brayer is the roller that you're going to use to roll the ink out. So that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to take my printing plate, I'm going to set it aside, and the first thing that needs to happen is I will come along and I will put a line of ink on your tray. We're all going to be using black ink for this project. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to pick up your brayer, and you're just going to use the brayer to pick up a little bit of ink and start to roll that ink out on the tray. Now remember here, the purpose is not to cover the whole tray. The purpose is to get a nice even coating of ink all the way around the brayer. And I want to keep rolling until that ink starts to sound just a little bit sticky. You should be able to hear that in the video. If I don't have quite enough ink, I can pick up a little more. And once it sounds really sticky or really tacky, then I'm going to take that brayer and I'm going to move my ink tray to the side, and I'm going to use that brayer to roll an even coating of ink along my printing plate. So it is important, since I've cut out my printing plate, that I get a nice even layer of ink on the whole plate. I can go back and pick up a little more ink. And this is the part where it gets really tricky. I might need to pick up quickly a little more ink. You do need to work with some speed. And I want to make sure that I've covered every part of my printing plate. Once I have covered every part of my printing plate, I'm ready to print. And this is where you need a partner with clean hands. So I would hand my printing plate to I would actually take my printing plate. And today we're going to start off by making what I call by what I call making a proof. A proof is a practice print. So I'm going to pick up my print and I'm going to put it down on the paper, and I'm trying to line it up right with the middle of the paper. Then I need a clean surface to create my print. So today we're going to use a registration plate for that. I would carefully take this and flip it over, and then I want to rub the whole paper. I don't want to rub too long because I don't want the ink to dry. And then as soon as I have done that, I'm going to pull my print off of my plate or off of my paper, and then I'm going to flip it over because I also want to make a ghost print. A ghost print, and then I'll flip the whole thing back. And a ghost print should print a little bit lighter because you don't have as much ink on your plate. And it should look or mimic the look of a reflection in the water. Now you're going to start today, like I said, with a proof, with a practice print, because this will allow you to figure out if you have the right amount of ink, if you need to get more ink. It'll help you figure out if you pressed hard enough. Once you're done with that, you're ready to clean, and then you're ready to move on. So this is the part where your partner can help, because you're going to need to clean your work area. You will have some tools to clean with. You'll have some wipes. Your partner can help use the wipes to clean the registration plate. It needs to not just be clean, but it also needs to be dry. So you'll also take a paper towel and you'll dry that off. I'm trying not to put it back in the inked area of my newspaper. And then same thing, if I got a little bit of ink on the back also needs to be cleaned. So your clean hands partner will check both of those. Once I'm done with that, I'm ready to start the whole process again. Now I'm ready to create my final print. So again, I'm going to start with the registration plate. But now I have my painted paper, and I have to remember which half is the sky and which half is the water. I'm going to print the sky half first. So I'm going to take this, flip it over, I can flip it over on the back if I want. And this is the part where I would have my partner with the clean hands really press into my whole printing plate. You want to make sure you get the whole plate printed. So remember, I'm applying some pressure when I rub. I'm not just petting a soft little kitty cat. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm going to peel it off. I might need to take a quick check, super quick, of my printing plate. Just make sure there's not a lot of ink on it. And then one last time, I'm going to take this printing plate, I'm going to flip it over. I have to line it up right with the edge of the water, and I'm creating that ghost print. So again, I want to create that print that's going to be very light. And then as soon as I'm finished, I'm going to peel it up. And that's it. Now I have my regular print and my ghost print on my paper. I hope you've had a wonderful time working with the printmaking project. When you're finished, the last step obviously is we have to make sure everything gets cleaned up. I will come and get your prints, and then I will call you to bring both your printing plate and your brayer to the sink, because these items need to be washed. Have a wonderful week. And until next time, keep on creating.